Gaming has undergone a massive transformation over the years. What started as a simple play of experiences, it has evolved into complex systems designed to maximize engagement, monetization, and having also as well as competitive elements. Remember when you'd play a game just to see what was around the next corner? When you'd spend hours exploring a world, not because there was a collectible to find, but simply because you were curious. When you'd try those ridiculous and dumb strategies, not just because they weren't optimal, but just because they were fun. Somewhere along the way, many games and many of us players, or as us consumers, have it's kind of shifted the focus, and games started incorporating more things like achievement systems that really quantify progress. It's added competitive rankings. I would probably say definitely FPS games that constantly always compare us to others. Optimization paths that makes us feel like we're playing the game wrong if we don't follow them. Endless progression systems that are designed to keep us grinding, or an even social media integration that turns a lot of private experiences into public experiences because we always want to show online what we've done with achievements, with speedruns, and all of that. And none of these elements are really bad, but they have created incredible experiences and communities. But they've also fundamentally changed our relationship with games and why we've played them. The industry has shifted too. Game design has increasingly incorporated psychological hooks to design to maximize engagement rather than just enjoyment itself like we had all the way back then. And many games now feel designed around keeping us playing rather than just making sure we're having fun while we play. The original purpose of gaming is that at its core, playing is one of the most fundamental human activities. It's how we learn, how we explore different possibilities in any way throughout life, whether if it's in real life or in games, how we process emotions and how we connect with others. You know, playing or learning isn't just entertainment, it's a vital part of just being human in itself. When we first discovered video games, any of us, when I first discovered playing video games, it kind of tapped into this primal need, not even primal, like instinctual need for me to just play new things in exciting ways and just to learn what kind of games are out there, what kind of genres are out there, what kind of creativity is there in different types of games. And it really lets us wonder about the discovery and the wonder of games. And like, I remember the first time where I've entered a new world in No Man's Sky. Like, literally, that was like amazing. Like, the amount of galaxies, the amount of planets, all of that was just so like amazing to me because I've never seen a game like this. I hadn't seen Starfield at the time or as many as other space games, but this was really like eye-opening to me. And it really expresses creativity without judgment. Games are usually provided safe spaces to try out things, build things, and express ourselves without a fear of failure. But the thing with that is that nowadays, industries and companies really get judged about the games they're making, and it even ties up to politics and a whole bunch of other aspects that fans are very judgmental of nowadays compared to back then. And the thing is that it also connects us through shared experiences, whether playing together on a couch or like Discord or any type of voice call, discussing discoveries at school the next day or just at a hangout. Games really created bonds, and it's made communities online that we could discuss and share our adventures, and if we have anything new or talk about what was so cool in that specific thing. And games really does offer a way to both escape from difficult realities and safe spaces to to at least process complex emotions throughout the day, And none of these original purposes were about optimization, competition, or achievement. They were about experiences, expression, having connections, and really just enjoying yourself. And I would think about how did we really go from playing for joy to just playing for achievements? I think part of the shift is that I think naturally we really want to seek mastery towards what we do. We compare ourselves to others and find patterns and efficiencies to improve ourselves. As we get better at games, it's obviously natural to want to improve further. But the thing is that this kind of tendency has been kind of amplified and has been kind of multiplied towards different factors, Like, let's say, for example, game design evolution, Nowadays, games incorporate progressive systems, achievements, and competitive elements that shift that focus from experience to more achievements. Like, I would say, for example, perfect example, like, I can speak about dark matter. You know what I'm saying? The dark matter skin in Black Ops, it's so cool. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's kind of been multiplied, and other industries kind of copy that in terms of not just the way they do it, but in terms of the progression system. And I would also say that the internet and information sharing, the widespread availability of a lot of guides, a lot of optimal strategies, and a lot of comparison points has really changed the way we really approach games as a whole. And gaming has become more of a performance, especially with like a lot of visual players, who often demonstrate mastery rather than joy. All the speedrunners, all the 100%ers, you see 100% in Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games are just the Souls series, all that stuff. And the thing is that the result is that many of us have this internalized a new purpose of just gaming, one focused on achievement, efficiency, and comparison rather than experience, creativity, and joy. We see how this is how we talk about in games, The way we talk about in games is like, I need to finish this game before the next release, or I'm stuck grinding to level up, or I can't play that way, it's not optimal, I need to clear my backlog. I feel like all of these statements, like when you say that to yourself and you don't realize it, it kind of creates a fundamental shift in mindset, because it comes from playing games to consume them, from experiencing joy to complete task, and those are two completely different things that we don't really think about, and I realize that for myself as well. But we can reconnect that original purpose of gaming by starting with a lot of intentionality, being conscious about why we're playing what we're playing and we hope to get from the experiences. We should catch ourselves when we think about, should we play a certain way, or ask where we should get the expectation from, and whether if it really serves to our enjoyment or not. We should just experience the game of what we experience. If we miss something, don't be afraid to miss it. Just experience it for the first time. And after you experience it for the first time, if you want to experience it again, or just search up guides on how to find certain things, go right ahead, but try to go experience with just no heads up ahead of time, and try to play a different game. Try to play a game in a way that has intentionally different ways from the optimal path. Try to use some weird bad builds. Try to take a scenic route, or try to set creative challenges for yourself, and allow yourself to play imperfectly. You don't have to always play in a perfect type of way that everybody says this is the best guide, this is the best way to do it. Miss some collectibles, use some of those like bad optimal strategies in games, don't be afraid to lose some matches, and see what happens when we release the pressure to always have to perform, and try to like rediscover that curiosity, ask yourself, like, I wonder what would happen if I decided to go that way. If I decided to pick up this, would it activate a challenge? Would it activate another path? Would it give me a power up? Try to ask yourself those questions and try to follow your curiosity rather than just a question mark on the damn screen, And I've usually found that when I approach these games with these type of mindsets, the joy kind of returns back to me. And the wonder kind of comes back as well. I usually find myself losing track of time, not just because I'm grinding, but because I'm like actually like genuinely like immersed or like impressed by the experience itself. But I do want to emphasize that there is no right way to play games. If achievement and optimization was genuinely the thing that bring you joy, that's valid too. The key is alignment, making sure you have to play matches why you want to play, or just because you want to play them. Don't be afraid, if anyone else says, that's a sub-op, like that's not a good way to do something, so what? I just want to do it the way I want to do it. You know what I mean? But the thing is that also, if you've also been feeling burnt out, pressured, or not just enjoying games as much as you used to, it might just be worth reconnecting with the game's original purpose, Don't be afraid to ask yourself, why did I originally fall in love with that game? Or what would look like the reason for me to play that game again? And if anything, don't be afraid to take a break from games in general. It's not like you could be gone for a few weeks, months, maybe even years if you want. And dude, the game's still going to be there. You know what I mean? And usually the thing is that games is like one of the most powerful things we've created, if you really think about it. And it really has a lot of it's really capable of just delivering experiences that range from such amazing experiences that was like never even thought of, just off of creativity, stories, the way they implement systems, and it's really profound to think about. I feel like games really deserve to be more than just another source of pressure and obligation in our lives, just like we have with our jobs. This games should be a thing where we should just sit down and enjoy it for what it is. If you don't like something, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All of us are just different in our own ways. If you don't like something and if you like something else, there's nothing wrong with that. If you like pineapple on pizza, nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people find that weird, but like nothing wrong with that. You do you. You know what I mean? So next time when you pick up a controller or when you sit down at your keyboard and try to reconnect with that original spark, that sense of wonder, creativity, and joy that drew you to the games in the first place, you might just be surprised by how much it transforms your experience. Let me know in the comments what the original purpose that you even fell in love with the games in the first place. And I just want to say thank you for watching. As of this recording, we have about, I want to say, 87 subscribers, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I feel like we've been making a lot of progress, and I just want to thank you guys for watching, man. I feel like I'm going to keep on making videos, man, and I just really wanted to start this YouTube channel, man, for just communicating with people, and I really have. They're just uploading videos and just networking. Not even networking, man, just meeting with other people in the YouTuber community, you know what I mean? And I'm just really appreciative of that, But I just want to say thank you for watching, and remember that games are meant to be played, not just completed. And that is it. You guys have a great day wherever you are. John Zuni out. Peace.